Know any good irrational numbers? When is something an irrational number? Nee. Kom, graad 8 kennis. Dis 'n voorbeeld van 'n irrasionele getal is pi. Not necessarily. You're on the right track. So Saida's saying when it has a lot of numbers after the comma, if it's written as a decimal. But there are some exceptions, unless the decimals are repetitive. So 0,3333333 is not an irrational number. Okay? Maar as jy byvoorbeeld 22 gedeel deur 7 op jou sakrekenaar gaan intik, doe dit. Wat is 22 gedeel deur 7? Dis pi, né? Dis die breek wat vir pi verteenwoordig. You see, it fills your calculator screen with decimals, but they're not repetitive. It doesn't form a pattern. Né? Daar's sulke kompetisies wat hulle sê hoeveel desimale van pi jy kan opnoem uit jou kop uit. I don't even know what the world record is, but it's insane for recalling decimals of pi from memory. You can Google it later. Anyway, and it never ever repeats itself. So that is an irrational number. Okay. Now we don't want to work with irrational numbers in our denominator. Because it sort of messes with stuff. Now quickly, in your calculator, type in the square root of 3. Would you classify that as a rational or irrational number? Does it repeat? If you put it into decimals, is daar enige patroon wat hy vorm? No pattern, né? So, die vierkantswortel van enige getal wat nie 'n volkome vierkant is nie, is 'n irrasionele getal. So when I'm talking about this, do you agree I can write that as 2? That's a rational number, I'm happy with that. But when I'm looking at something like this, or this, or this, all of them have decimals that do not repeat themselves. In other words, those are seen as irrational numbers. Again, if I do this, that's easy. Okay, that's a rational number. So dit gaan spesifiek oor die vierkantswortels van nie-rasionele getalle. So there's two different ways to fix that if we have a fraction with an irrational number in the denominator. Okay, the one scenario is something like this. When I have one term in my denominator. Okay, in hierdie geval worry ons net, we only care about the denominator. It can be a rational number in the top part of the fraction, né? Hy kan irrasioneel wees in die teller, net nie in die noemer nie. Okay. Nou, is hierdie, daai wat ek daar neergeskryf het, 'n uitdrukking of 'n vergelyking? Is that an expression or an equation? It's an uitdrukking, né? It's an expression, right? It doesn't have a left and a right hand side with a equating sign in the middle, okay? So ek mag mos nie gaan verander aan die waarde van 'n uitdrukking nie. I'm not allowed to change the value of an expression. I can go and rewrite it in another way, but when we add all of those like this, I'm not changing the value, I'm just rewriting it as 2 over 5. Okay? But I can't sommer say, let's add a 5 here. Nee? Dan verander jy mos aan die waarde. If you're working with the equation, you are allowed to do it as long as you do it on the left and on the right hand side. Nee? Dis mos die reëls. Maar as ons werk met 'n uitdrukking, mag jy nie aan sy waarde verander nie. Goed, ons mag hom net anders gaan skryf. So what I do here is I'm going to multiply it by 1. Are you changing the value of something if you multiply it by 1? No. Stem julle saam, né? Maar ek gaan my 1 'n bietjie weird gaan skryf. Ek gaan my 1 skryf as wortel 2 op wortel 2. You guys agree that that fraction that I wrote in pink there is still equal to 1? Nee? Vierkantswortel 2 op vierkantswortel 2 is nog steeds gelyk aan 1. So ons verander nie aan die waarde van die breek nie. Ons gaan skryf, ons gaan maal hom net met 1. OK. En nou gaan ek sê, wat is 3 maal met wortel 2? 3 wortel 2, né? Do you guys agree? 3 times root 2 is 3 root 2. And at the bottom, I have the square root of 2 times the square root of 2, which is what? This is the same as writing this. Nee? Dat is 2 van hulle wat ek met mekaar vermenigvuldig. Stem julle saam? En 'n vierkantswortel en 'n kwadraat is mos teenoorgestelde berekeninge van mekaar. So they cancel out one another. So this is going to be 2. And that holds true for any third form. If I have root 5 times root 5, it's going to give me 5. If I have the square root of 11 times the square root of 11, it's going to give me 11. You can test that on your calculators if you don't believe me. Okay. Nou, daai ding het die getal 2 nou in sy noemer. It has the number 2 in its denominator. Do we mind that? No. Do you agree that 2 is a rational number? So we have achieved success. Quickly take out your calculators and type in this. What does it give you? The answer. Okay. Your calculator is programmed to give you all answers as numbers with rational denominators. So jou sakrekenaar is baie slim. Maar gelukkig is jy slimmer. Okay. Goed, maar jy kan nie in 'n toets of 'n eksamen net jou sakrekenaar uitdruk en die antwoord vir my neerskryf nie. As jy nie hierdie stap bysit nie, dan kry jy 'n ronde 0. Staas mekaar. Okay, so let's do another one. Okay. Wat is ons probleem met hierdie breek? Where's our problem with this fraction? Only in the denominator. Ons gee nie om oor daai vierkant wortel 2 nie. Nou vierkant wortel 2 lê in die teller. We don't mind that. We just don't want an irrational number in the denominator. Okay, so we're going to multiply it by 1, but our 1 is going to look like this. Root 3 over root 3. Okay, met ander woorde, bo gaan ek hê 5 wortel 3 plus wortel 6 op 3. I'll unpack that for you now. That times that is equal to 5 root 3. And this times this, remember we said if we have this, then you can write it as that. Stem julle saam? En hieronder het ons mos gesê wortel 3 maal met wortel 3 gaan net vir my 3 gee. So have we fixed our problem? What type of a number do we have in the denominator now? A rational number. And if you want to test yourself, type it into your calculator.